Good morning to all my dear students, and I would like to welcome you all to the video classes that are being resumed. So today we are going to study about the subject human resource management. Like we've already discussed earlier in various classes that there are 4 factors of production, namely land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. So we are going to look into the human aspect in an organization. So the body of knowledge that describes, that explains about the human aspect in an organization is your human resource management. So to define human resource management, it is the practice of recruiting, hiring, deploying and managing an organization's employees. So it starts right from recruiting to hiring people, and then after you hire people, assigning them the job roles that fit perfectly according to their skills, their qualifications. And then it also talks about managing organization employees. So this is a skeletal bone of the subject as a whole. We are going to dig deeper into these topics in details in further classes. So this is the definition of human resource management. So if we talk about the functions, so let's say the functions we are talking about is of the HR department. Like any other department, we have the finance, we have the marketing, we have sales, and we have the human resource department. So so these are the functions that are enlisted in the board of human resource department. The first one is recruitment and selection. So the first thing that we discuss here about the function is recruitment and selection. So the word recruitment, we tend to use recruitment and selection interchangeably in our daily lives, but there's a difference between recruitment and selection. So recruitment, the objective of recruitment is gathering a pool of qualified employees. So recruitment could be an ad in the newspaper, in television, in the social media. So the purpose of recruitment is about gathering or creating a pool of employees as much as we can, so that then from the pool of employees, let's say we get CVs emailed, the employers receive CVs emailed by the potential candidates. Thereafter, the HR in the organization responsible for hiring people, they tend to sort the CVs. So that is the first step that takes place in selection. So according to the qualifications that I've mentioned, the skills that are mentioned in the recruitment ad, you would be getting a call for an interview or the selection process according to the company. So selection, it is a process wherein it's a process of eliminating the undesired profile candidates. So there are various methods. Let's say in the selection methods, we have interviews, you have group discussions, you have essay writings, you have role plays. So these are few methods through which people are selected. So recruitment, and this is recruitment and selection. So the next function is human resource planning. So for an organization to run smoothly, it needs to understand, it needs to calculate the adequate number of manpower it requires. Let's say we require 10 people to run a small shop. We have 12 people with us. So 12 people means there is the company would be bearing two salaries of 2 people, the extra cost. So if we are underpowered, if we have, let's say we have 8 people, so we would not be able to meet the daily needs, we would not be able to meet the demand that is there. So human resource planning is understanding and knowing the adequate number of employees that is required to run the business. The third one we have is orientation. Like we discussed recruitment and selection. Let's say a person, Mr. A is selected through all the rounds of interview, GD and all. He gets selected to hold the job. So what happens is orientation, it is the process of inducing a new employee in the organization. It is to make the employee familiar to the organization. It is one way of including the employee in the organization. Basically, what we have in orientation is we have video presentations wherein we have a small history about the company that you are going to work for, the benefits that you are going to receive. And you know, there would be a body culture where people would be hand holding you and telling you all about organization. So orientation is about inducing and helping the new employee acclimatize to the organization. The next we have, let's say once the employee is oriented and he is ready, his job is ready to, he's ready to perform for the organization. So what next is, once the employee has been allocated a particular job role, before even the employee starts working, he is trained. Yeah, there are two words, training and development, both of which coexist together. But training is behavior modification. Yeah? Development is a long-term process where there are several rounds of performance appraisals, one-on-one with your managers, with the HRs. So it is a long-term process, but training is a let's say it's a short-term process wherein it aims at your behavior modification. So before even you start the job, the person is given proper training, which will help them to perform what is required out of the person, or what is required out of the person who is holding the position. So when we talk about development, let's say when we talk about development, it's always a long-term process. So in development, let's say we are talking about succession planning. So I, as an employee, have already worked for the organization, for organization A for a year. So they see, and I have the potential to to fill the gap for the next level position. So what they do is they see it and they try to make me ready and develop me so that I can take the next position. So it is so like we already know, in most of the organizations, your promotions are usually takes you on an average, it takes you 1.5 years. You need to be performing in the role, and then you would be eligible to, you would be eligible for the next role. So it takes, let's say it takes 1.5 years for us to be developed, to be performing in the next role. So this is training and development. Thank you very much. Good morning to all my dear students once again. So today we will be discussing about the objectives of human resource management. So categorically there are 4 objectives that focuses or that categorizes the objectives of human resource management as a whole. So the first one we have is a societal objective. As the name itself says, societal. So society, when we talk about society, we are talking about people. We are talking about things concerning them. So the first point would be legal and ethical issues. So as the objective of human resource management is to see that the legal requirements to run a business, the legal requirements, let's say for example the minimum wages, the compensations for all accidental things, those things are met according to the law. And we have ethical issues wherein we need to see that all the ethics are followed, are practiced, so that there is smooth running of the organization. So the next we have is equal opportunity and equal pay. So this helps to create a uniformity among all the employees that work in the organization. So when we talk about equal opportunity and equal pay, this means people are paid according to the job roles they hold. So there is no point there are no chances of people getting paid people are paid on the basis of biasness. So there has to be equal opportunity and equal pay. So HRM aims to establish legal and ethical standards, which also comes up with your equal opportunity for everyone, irrespective of caste, creed, color, or religion, or sex, and equal pay according to the position or job role one holds. So that is our societal objective. The next one we have is organizational objectives. We need to keep in mind the HRM is there in place. It is also called the custodian of human resources or the custodian of employee rights. But the ultimate aim of any organization or any wing or any department of the organization is to see that the organization or the enterprise efficiency is maximized. So let's see how the HRM aims at improving organizational efficiency by achieving organizational objectives. So like the point says, the action taken to ensure efficiency. So in the organizational objectives, the HR department takes into actions those things which will help to ensure that the organization works efficiently. Let's say when we have equal pay, when we have equal opportunity, people are motivated to work together. So a sense of equality, when there's a sense of equality, when there's practice of equality in an organization, it helps, it motivates people, and it creates efficiency, which in turn improves the productivity of the organization and the profit maximization as a whole. So the other one is we have is training, hiring right employees, and retention. So what it does is training, it helps improve, like we discussed yesterday, training is behavior modification. Yeah. So and it is not like teaching, where in teaching we try to inculcate habits, whereas training is modification of the behavior according to what we want. We have hiring the right employees. This is one very important point that we need. Let's say we have a post for an electrician open. So there might be people who are overqualified, who are underqualified, or who have degrees which are not concerning the electrical jobs. So it would be wrong to hire people on the basis of the degree, just the degree they hold. So hiring right employees fits directly into the person's forte, and it helps the organization to put the right person in the right job. So when we do that, it creates a sense of employee satisfaction in the work it does, and it also helps to improve the employee's efficiency, which as a whole will lead to organizational objective. So the last one, we have retention. This is one important thing that the HR department of the organization try to do. Retention. So retention, it means keeping hold of the talent that is already there in the organization. So this is one very important job of the HR department. Let's not only the HR, the direct line manager or the manager reporting. So when we retain good talent, when we retain the talent that is already there working in an organization, what it does, it creates experience. Experience in turn leads to organizational objectives. In many cases, let's say there are new employees that have come in an organization. The experienced employee, which is already there working, will will be able to help the new employee to condition him or her to the new environment that the new employee is working in. So retention is not only about holding the talent, but it also helps the newer employees to orient them to the new environment. The next one we have is functional objective. We have already discussed societal objective, organizational objectives. Now we come to functional objective, wherein the guidelines to keep HR function properly. So the functional objective is all about policies, programs that are laid out in black and white. So this, when we're talking about functional objective, these are the guidelines which will help to keep the HR functioning. So all the policies, procedures are kept in place. Let's say, for example, I am an employee who joins company A for the first time. So we get a thick booklet of documents that we rarely go through. But in the document, we have all the guidelines that we need to follow. So these guidelines, so when we're talking about functional objectives, so guidelines, there are already guidelines that are established according to the market standards, which will help to keep the HR functioning properly. So when the HR is functioning properly, what it does is it fulfills your societal objective, it fulfills your organizational objectives, which in turn emphasizes and which in turn leads to the overall efficiency of the organization. The next one we have is personal objective. Like the name itself says, personal objective, we are talking about employees. So every individual has their own goals. Let's say in 2 years' time, I am working as an assistant manager. In 2 years' time, I want to be the manager of the project. So this is my personal goal. This is what I want to do. So when do we discuss goals is when we have one-on-one meetings with our direct supervisors. So yearly, like we discussed yesterday, we have something called performance appraisal. So performance appraisal is all about understanding how I have done according to the goals that were set earlier. So usually what happens is, let's say this is a new financial year. Even before this, the financial year begins, I have a meeting with my manager, my direct supervisor. So it is then we set goals together. So we set goals together, what I want to achieve and what the manager expects me to achieve in this quarter. So the goals and objectives are already laid down. I work for the quarter, and then how well I performed. Was I able to meet my goals? Was I able to meet my objectives? So this evaluation of understanding if I was able to achieve the goals or objectives is performance appraisal. So when we're talking about support personal goals, so when do I disclose my goals is when I set my objectives. It is then I tell my manager, so look, I want to be a manager within 2 years. So what he does is he lays down the path, and he shows me how the things that I need to work on, the things I need to do better, and which would lead me to the intermediate role, which will help me get me promoted to the other role. So this support personal goals. So HR, where does HR comes in point is, usually in meetings there are three parties to it. There are the manager, we have our manager, we have the HR, and we have the employee. So there are three parties involved in it. So the HR in the meeting with the manager and the employee tries to understand the personal goals and lay down a foundation or lay down a way through which the employee can achieve their personal goals. Now when we're talking about personal objectives, we're also talking about educational opportunities and career development opportunities. There are many organizations which provide courses and degrees to their employees. so that the employee can upgrade themselves, so that the employee can learn new skills, add new talent, because in today's world we need to keep updating ourselves. So many organizations, they have the options wherein the employee can come and pursue the degree. I have a bachelor's degree, I want to do a master's, or I want to do a technical course. So this so the organization provides opportunity for the employee to pursue the education as well. So this is something very personal. So when I complete my degree, I get a degree, I possess the talent, so it helps me grow personally. And career development, when you're talking about career development, we are talking in the same sense as personal goals, wherein every one of us need to set a timeline. So let's say in 2 years time I'm an assistant manager, in 2 years time I want to be a manager, in 4 years time I want to be a senior manager. So there is a graph that is already laid in our mind. So when we discuss these things with the HR in turn helps the employee as to how they can develop their skills, how they can develop their gather their experience, and move step by step from assistant manager to the manager to senior manager post. So this is all about our personal objective, which in turn will give the employee the satisfaction to work for the organization. So a happy and a satisfied employee always works better than an employee who is not happy or satisfied. So what it does, it automatically improves the efficiency of the employee, because the employee knows the organization is trying to take care of the employee. A, by helping him improve his knowledge, by providing the employee with educational facilities. B, by clearly setting their career development path. So I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you very much.